after some some protracted attempt to get us online, but by the skin of our teeth, the very skin of our teeth, we made it for 11 o'clock. So welcome to the almost late morning show with Lisa and Anton. I'm Anton.
And I'm Lisa, and this is Skittle.
And this is Elevensies, although it's now 11:01. I don't think I've seen it flash for so long. We were doing our Mrs. Doyle impersonation there. Go on.
Oh. And you'll have to excuse me, but I don't know what kind of pollen came up
this
today.
This has been shedding dander in your face.
I'm not allergic to cats.
I am.
Well, see, now you've offended her.
Well, what are you going to do? Good morning, Sparky. How you doing today? Welcome. Oh, gosh, it's Fantastic Friday, isn't it? Which means...
It's the story of us.
Oh.
For as long as we can manage to talk about ourselves.
Oh, I think we can
Leo
do that.
and Leo Rising could probably do that forever. I'm going to have to just blow my nose.
Oh, goodness gracious. Look at the consummate professionalism we have here.
Good morning, Christopher. Good morning, Jenja.
Oh, yeah. It's just,
yeah.
What a day.
Well, it's going to be a day because we have all kinds of stuff coming in today. We're going to get incense and all kinds of dishes, and we're going to get some packing stuff too to put out our mini taper candles and all kinds of stuff. So we'll be seeing you a little later with a box opening. I've got a ton of candles to decan for Candle Club, so that'll be ready.
Right.
It's just going to be...
Right.
And then we have Circle tonight. Oh, and I have readings this afternoon.
It's all good. It's all good. We're just going to go slightly insane. So Sparky says, I didn't get a notification, but I have the bell turned on. I was looking for you. Well, thank you for looking for us, because I don't know what went on this morning. It was just like grinding away and grinding away and grinding away and grinding away a bit more. And finally we went online. I wasn't sure we were going to make it, but we did. And I've no idea why you didn't get a notification. I haven't received a notification.
No, neither have I. And Alice says, good morning from upstate.
Oh, she's upstate.
And Jen says, incoming!
Oh, yes, we've got incoming today.
That's what we usually yell when the UPS man or the FedEx guy is coming up the stairs.
Or sometimes both at the same time.
Oh, yeah, that has happened. I remember the one time after the pandemic was over and we finally started getting our orders in, the porch was full. All these
that would have been a
fantastic. Llewellyn boxes.
We weren't doing Elevensies then, but that would have been fantastic to get done.
That would have been fun, yeah.
I wouldn't believe how many boxes.
I did have one. I have a picture of it.
You have
because
a picture?
the whole side of the porch was just boxes.
Full of boxes.
Will we ever finish this?
Well, probably not, but we got them away.
All right.
It was necessary.
We were thinking today we might talk about our driving escapades.
Oh, God, no.
When we met.
Yes. We often tease about this.
Yes.
Sparky, I'm sorry, I'm breaking the teeth in for a friend. The Psychic Fair is at our store tomorrow
from 12 to 6.
12 to 6. 12 to 5. But
we're open 12 to 6. But the fair is from 12 to 5.
Yeah.
Readings are $10 for 10 minutes, or you could do 20 for 20, 30 for 30, 40 for 40, or the maximum would be an hour for 60.
That's right.
Which is a $30 savings on an hour's reading.
And no, we don't take appointments. We can't take appointments because, believe me, if somebody shows up 5 minutes late for a 10-minute reading, the whole day has gone for a ball of truck.
Right. So it's you're standing in front of me, you book the next thing in succession. And fair warning that if you think you want more than 10 minutes, book it then.
That's
because
a serious advisory.
By the time
can I get more time? No, there's like 27 people now.
Waiting to see me. So, if you booked 20 minutes and you really get into something and you need more time, you have to understand that the person who came to the desk and booked the hour behind you is waiting to go see that same psychic. So you can come out and go round and make another appointment, but it by then may be a 2-hour wait.
It could be. So book what
but
you
I
think.
try to kind of give people
sometimes we
advice
can get to stuff in 10 minutes. It's happened.
Dane says, good morning.
Good morning,
and
Dane.
Christopher says, Psychic Fair is the best. Yes, kind of our give back, because normally a half-hour reading is $50.
Indeed.
And at the fair it's only $30. And an hour's reading would be $90, and at the fair it's only $60.
That's true.
So you do save some money, and you could see more than one psychic. I think we have 6 psychics on tomorrow.
I know. It's a blur. The day's a blur. When you get to the end of it, it's like...
Yeah, you just can't talk anymore because you've talked for 5 hours straight.
You sort of got this glazed stare.
And you've been tapping into other for that whole time. But anyway, today is not about psychic.
No, we were talking about driving.
All right,
getting to the point.
When I got to the UK...
This was your first attempt, wasn't it? My Audi.
In your Audi.
I had
well,
a little Audi.
Let's just say that I used to have really, interesting, like, balls of steel for a girl, really.
Oh, away. Come on, what do you mean you used to?
I don't
still
anymore.
do.
Oh,
come
no.
on, away.
My spirit of adventure is tombed way down.
Push. Do not belittle yourself so. That is not true.
Hi, Dawn.
That's not true.
I did know how to drive a stick. Obviously, my dad was a really good driver. He used to drive for the state highway.
Of course, you know
department.
how to drive a stick.
Trucks.
You're a witch, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. And I had a Mustang when Anton met me. I still have it, but it's covered up. It's a '89 5-liter, one of the fastest Mustangs.
Fox body thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it weighs about as much as a T-tray. That's why.
Anyway, so yeah, the first time he drove that, he said, "Oh my God, if there was spit on the road, the ass would try to come in front of me."
Yeah, it wasn't good on traction control. I will say that much, but never mind. That's
So we still have that car. All right, so I'm in the UK now. Please understand that some of the road like we have here, Route 32 or Route 299, would be about the size of the driveway at the shop, with a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Oh, yeah, most de-restricted. Well, come on, we were in rural Wales. The roads are not that wide.
Hi, Pam.
The roads are really
They're not that
wide.
And you could meet a farmer or a hay truck or...
taking his half out in the middle.
Whatever.
Necessarily, because the roads aren't that wide.
And the roads aren't wide enough for cars to just pass. You have to find a little passing thing and nip in and let the other guy by.
Our lane was that.
Right.
Our lane was truly probably only a single track road,
So we were driving one time and he said, "Would you like to drive?" And I thought, well, kind of, yeah, because I'm, very independent person. Obviously, I've taken a trip to the UK for the first time in my life by myself to go, So I get in and I realize, wait a minute, I've got to shift with my left hand.
There's a tricky one, see? Yeah. This is like Sparky saying that she drove a stick in London and it was crazy. Talk about roundabouts.
Well, the roundabouts...
You've never been to Telford then if you want to see roundabouts.
Roundabouts, yeah. But the stick with the left hand, and I have ambidextrous qualities. I mean, when I was in school, I used to do all of my English homework with my right hand, and then I'd do my math homework with my left because I didn't matter if it slanted weird. But trying to reconcile in my head, my brother used to call me amphibious instead of ambidextrous.
I did not know that about you.
Oh.
See, I just learned something new.
All right, so
you do math with your left hand
because you didn't. The English teacher required that you have a certain slant to your cursive writing, and if you did that with your left hand, it wouldn't be proper. But the math teacher didn't care; you're a little scribbled on there, so I would do my
school
retired.
Didn't care either, so long as they could read your writing.
Right, exactly. Okay. Anyway, so now I'm like, now I want to make the thing reverse too, right? Because steering wheel to the middle of the road, okay, and then I want
right-hand drive change with your left,
right? So I wanted
the same pattern.
It's the same pattern, but I wanted to reverse that too, right? So now instead of first being over there, I wanted first to be over here because that would have made more sense in my reverse universe mind. So I didn't drive a stick over there. We had to get an automatic for me.
Well, yeah, of course. That was your first disco, if I remember right.
Yep.
So yeah, Shauna says Facebook wasn't working. And welcome to YouTube, Shauna. Yes, Shauna, mash that subscribe button. Do it. You'll feel good. We'll feel good.
And Pam says, wow, after all this time, you're still learning stuff. Yes, every once in a while. We've been together, 23 years? He'll say something and I'll be like, what?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Or I'll say something like I just did. And he's like, what? I didn't know that. But yeah.
I didn't know that.
And we talk all the time. We're together 24/7. So you never know.
We share an awful lot of ideas.
So why didn't you tell us what happened to you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've driven on the wrong side of the road many a time. I mean, I used to, in my misspent youth, I used to do a bit of motorsport, to be honest. So I had an international rally license and an international race license.
And an international driver's license?
Well, yeah, no, I made sure I had an international license, which you could go and get through the RAC. To come just in case I needed to drive over here. So that's Apparently I found out afterwards you can drive on a British license or a UK license over here. You're not required to have an international license, but there were many countries that you were required to do that. And if we were part of Europe at the time. The United Kingdom was part of Europe, so your license actually had the EU thing, which gives you those same privileges to drive in any country in Europe, which is fantastic. So you didn't need that international license. But when you go outside of Europe, as is the case, it's prudent to have an international license. So it's only a formality. So
he could legally drive any vehicle here that he wanted. Yeah.
So I had an international license, and I got my my race license, my international rally and race licenses, and I thought, well, obviously I'm now going through the process where we're starting to put down roots, and Lisa's starting to go not necessarily the citizenship route, but what do they call it? Leave to remain.
Leave to remain.
Let's go figure that one out if you can. You get leave to remain in the United Kingdom.
Sounds so odd, doesn't it?
Proper resident, so to speak. And I was obviously doing my green card thing and all that kind of stuff at the time, where I was still an alien. So I thought, but once I got my green card, I could apply for a driver's license. So I thought, probably best I do that.
Oh, but the New York DMV.
Oh, what? I'd heard stories about this. I'd heard stories about the DMV, but interesting. Yeah, I said I want to draw the parallel with, and I'm sure these people in their own lives are lovely, lovely people. And honestly, there's no personal affront here at all. Please understand that, because I'm sure they get to deal with people who've got not nice things to say to them all the time. They're always bent out of shape about something. So they're probably necessarily on the back foot, if you know what I mean. They're expecting somebody to get in their face and give them a hard time. So I guess they've built this kind of interesting defense. Much like my first experience.
Offense is the best defense.
Offense is indeed the best defense. That is very true. So I it was much like my very first experience with the Department of Agriculture and their Customs and Border Protection, or whatever it was called. Got any food? Stay behind the line.
All right, focus. Okay.
So yeah, I went to the DMV, and it was an interesting experience, shall we say? So you need some photo ID, no problem. Here's my passport. Here's my green card. Date of birth, whatever, all this sort of stuff.
Gives him his.
Give me.
He gives a Welsh license.
Yeah. Well.
And you gave them your international driver's license, so that proved that you could drive legally over here.
Yep. And they wanted something else, so they wanted three things. So I wound up giving them a little thing you may not know. I'm also a pilot, but so
they wanted another picture ID, so he gave them his pilot's license,
and they gave me a learner's permit. Which is wonderful.
So he's like, "Oh, look, this means I can drive in the United States as long as I accompany myself. I guess I have to wear 2 pairs of underwear."
That would be it. It's probably best, isn't it? Oh, dear.
Yeah, so he gave him a road rally race license, an international license, his Welsh license, and a pilot's license, and they gave him a learner's permit.
That's good. But yeah, no, I remember when a dear friend of mine, Lawrence, came over to spend some time, and we were driving. But I don't think we can do this.
This was right around the same time, and I'll do the bleeps. So we were, it was in the Mustang.
Was in the Mustang, which and it had recently rained, so it's not at all, And we were
on the FDR Drive headed towards Battery Park.
And some, for want of a better word, knob cheese decided to just cut straight in front of me.
So you hear, bleep, bleep you, you bleeping bleep. And Lawrence, without missing a beat, says, "Well, I guess you can qualify for your New York license now."
Apparently so. There was no paint was exchanged. It was all good.
Oh my God.
So yeah, but interesting. I realised how incredibly patient New York drivers are. If you don't, when the lights change in the city, if you don't plant the throttle like you're on the grid at Silverstone or whatever, somebody a microsecond later is leaning on the horn behind you. It's like, okay then. It's not so bad where we are,
Fiona says,
upstate a
sorry.
little bit.
Fiona says, hi from the UK.
Hello,
nice
Fiona.
to see you both again after all these years. I can remember the Bishop's Castle days with great fondness.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, we love that little store. I still have so many crystals from your shop, plus several books and tarot cards. Oh, you were so inspirational on my spiritual journey, Lisa. Hope you're both doing well. You look great. Well, thank you. We're looking old, but we're still doing it, so it's all good.
We're still kicking. It's all good. We're still kicking.
But yeah, bleep you, you bleeping bleep. Well, I guess you qualify for your New York license now.
Oh God! Oh, I miss Lawrence so much. We don't. Yeah, once the world gets something back to normal, we'll have to drag him over.
Yeah, they live in Wales.
Yeah. It's Aberhavisp.
Aberhavisp.
You can't. It sounds like you're very drunk when you say
try to say it. Yeah.
I was very, very drunk. Aberhavisp. Yes. Really? That's it. Oh,
so yeah,
gosh.
I really didn't enjoy driving in the UK very much. It was a little scary.
Well, things happen quicker.
Well,
that's for sure.
Oh yes, I would say that. Not to be mean, but most U.S. drivers would not survive on UK roads.
Yeah, well, the speed limits are considerably higher.
Good morning, Karen. And Fiona says, yeah, we're all getting older. Yeah.
And they don't have you have this, what they call a fog line or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and
there's
you've got
a
this
fog line
huge
and
shoulder on most of the roads where you can just and I've noticed because if somebody's trying to turn left here, everybody piles across the shoulder and undercuts the car, which, by the way, incidentally, is illegal.
Right.
Just
right. So if you want to try to go that way and somebody bounds over the shoulder to go that way, that's not legal.
No, it's not. But
in the UK, you couldn't because there's a hedge.
Well, you'd have to plough through the hedge, and there were quite a few car-shaped holes in there.
In the hedges. Well, yes, because the road is only wide enough for 1.5 cars, and when you crest a hill, a boy racer. Because, if you're under 25 and male, you're invincible.
Of course.
Would be coming 90 miles an hour over the crest of the hill, and there's no place to go except the hedge.
Yeah, the speed limit on what they class as a de-restricted single-lane road, which was our single carriageway, not a dual carriageway. What you call a divided highway, we call it a dual carriageway. So on a single lane or undivided highway, a regular road, the speed limit, if it's de-restricted, where you see that white circle with the black diagonal line through it, means it's de-restricted, national speed limit applies, is 60 miles an hour. So the tiny little horse and cart track up to our house in Wales actually had a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit on it.
That was crazy because it was not as wide, I don't think, as the driveway at the shop.
I'd struggle to get my truck up there without brushing both hedges with a mirror.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And then there were little pull-ins.
So the farmers learned to back up with the trailer really well.
Right, because a lot of people couldn't back up in that tiny space, believe it or not. But when you mentioned road signs, that was quite a hobby of mine. And you know what I think is really funny?
There really are some cool ones.
Jenna Tellendrew from Sisterhood of Avalon.
Oh, I love her.
Travels to Wales and the UK, obviously not during lockdown, and that's her hobby too, is to collect pictures of crazy road signs.
Some of them are slightly odd.
You look at them and you think, what could that possibly be? The one for the school looks like aliens abducting children.
It does. That's kind of good. my favourite one, and you never get this. And a motorcycle above it.
A car and a flying motorcycle.
But it's in around a white background, two black icons, the car head on and the motorcycle side on above the car. So it looks like the motorcycle is actually jumping the car. But it's in a round sign with a ring. There's not a line through it.
Red
but
ring.
It actually means all motor vehicles prohibited. You go figure that one out if you want.
Caution, flying motorcycles.
Yeah, beware of flying motorcycles is probably more.
No footpath is an interesting one too. And then some of the slippery road ones look like the tires are crisscrossing.
How the hell that happened?
But if you want to have a real hoot and you're not from the UK, go and Google UK road signs and see if you can figure out what they mean.
Oh, you should put a post up. You should find someone put a post up and just
so funny. And then I come to find out that Jenna's been doing the same thing, kind of collecting.
They're just weird though.
They are. You're like,
some have no
what
sense.
What could that mean? No footpath. Oh. Why are there crinkly elderly people?
Yeah, some of them are quite
There's
insulting.
a man and a woman hunched
Like
over
bent
with canes.
double with canes.
What does that mean?
Means there's elderly people in the area, which is a little bit insulting, to be honest.
Oh God!
I suppose you can always put one of those at your best mate's driveway. That's always fun. Hang one of them up.
So I had fun with that when I was learning to drive over there to try to figure out what.
Well, I learned to shift with my left, so it's just as easy for me to shift with my left to my right.
Right, but it was really hard.
In fact, I would argue I'm better with my left than my right.
Well, because you learned that way. Yeah.
And I've only been here. Yeah, excuse me. Automatics are rare in the UK.
Everybody has to drive a stick pretty much. Yeah.
So yeah, manual transmission is de rigueur.
Where over here, if you want a stick, you have to. It's like the opposite. Over there, you'd have to kind of order the automatic, and over here, you'd kind of have to order the stick.
Here's the interesting.
Come on, they're making automatic Mustangs. That's just wrong.
They're making electric Mustangs now.
Well, that might be okay.
Yeah, well, that's automatic too, isn't it? But excuse me,
anyway.
I don't remember eating a frog.
We're both having some allergy to that.
Yeah. No, where the heck was I talking about? So,
Shocking, you're pretty good. The thing was waking up and remembering what country we're in. Steering wheel to the middle of the road. Steering wheel to the middle of the road.
I still have that weird kind of memory sometimes that, where am I going? Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. So with a British license, a UK license, if you learn on an automatic, you are not licensed to drive a manual transmission.
Well, they're completely different things.
Well, if you learn on a manual, you can certainly drive an automatic. But if you only have an automatic, you've got an endorsement, which means you can't drive a manual without passing the test on that.
But over here, it's
a whole
different.
different. Sparky bought a stick truck without knowing how to drive it. Yes.
If it don't fit, grind them.
His one gear says to the other, "Come on now, we've had a good grind. It's probably time we should get engaged." Yeah.
Oh God.
But ching and all that fun stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Steering wheel to the middle of the road.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. So that doesn't work, however, if you find yourself in a left-hand drive in the UK. That's not good, then.
What is the matter today, Stink?
Oh, she stinks. That's all it is.
Are you going to settle down? Mom's worried about your tail in the candle.
Highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely she's going to settle down ever, to be honest. So,
being a bit of a turd.
So you go. Gosh, what else can we tell you? That's it. So roundabouts are fun. Yeah, they go the other way round. So that kind of confuses people. Because
he still has your GPS is still an English lady. Entering roundabout, isn't she?
She? I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, what's going on with you?
You're going to scratch and just, spread more dander. I think that's what's going on with me.
Well, I don't think that's what's going on with me, but I know there was enough fur hanging around for another cat.
Trying not to have a mad sneezing fit whilst.
Anyway, I think it might time for card of the day.
Probably. What card of the day should we get, Skittle? Yeah. Pick the card, Skittle. What have we got?
International travel.
It's actually a pretty good card, this. 2 of Wands. For those of you watching in black and white. So there's a lot going on with this card. And I'm going to try and, because we've got to go to work and we've got to do all sorts of things.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So we better get a move on, really. So, I'll let you do the reading.
My reading for you for today is...
I can't shorten it.
You may get some very good news regarding a business proposal, especially if you are self-employed. Pay attention, and I think you're going to discover something that will allow you to make much better use of funds.
And do ponder. There's an awful lot of
Diane Davies, who's from Wales, said, "Oh, you have made me smile today."
Well, good. That's our mission in life, is to make people smile. It is. There's I think there's a lot of pondering going on in this card. So this is, there's an awful lot of potential. We can see a ploughed field in the card as well. So, but things are coming into fruition. They're not quite there yet. There's a bit more thinking to do. There's a bit more working things out. But it's a very good card. This shows a great deal of mercantile success and the opportunity for expansion.
Yeah, pay attention to opportunities today. So You know, we're still in the energy of that Capricorn full moon, so prosperity's on the forefront.
I spent some time with a Capricorn full moon last night. Me and her.
Yeah,
We
was
got
lovely.
We got quite enchanted. We did. So that was good.
All right. Well,
all right. Thank you so very much for watching today. It's,
great blessings and have a marvelous weekend.
We probably will join you later for some kind of crazy box
opening. God knows. Lots of
we might
smelly
want to
things.
do that.
Too bad we don't have smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision? Oh, God, no.
Yeah. For all the incense.
Oh, right. Oh, we've got a lot of incense coming today. We should get incense then. Ha-ha. All right, thank you so much for watching us. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Do tell your friends all about us.